glory's chase. Feel the ground shake. You stand tall, never fear the climb. All for one, and it's game time. In the stands, hear the roaring crowds. Wearing colors, we're standing proud. 12 teams fight under the spotlight's rays. Glory's night in the all-star blaze. Sweat and toil on this hallowed turf, one will rise.
Good evening. Excuse me, lads. Good evening, All Stars. How we doing? Happy Friday night and happy Oasis Eve as well for anybody trying to get some tickets. Duggan here, just gonna do some All Stars. And this is what we got lined up. We've got the Bisons against the Memphis Reigns, so that's Tato against Rocks. Always a decent game. We've got the struggling-ish Vikings against their rampant Drivetrain, who have now won 4 on the trot. That is a bit mental. Obviously, Hopkins went 4 on the spin last season at the start of the season. Then we got, speaking of Hopkins, we got Duggan against Hopkins, Dandies against the Alcatraz. The Alcatraz have just started to have some rotten form after a really good start, well, a decent start. And then we've got Scotty against Dims. A local fire are find themselves unluckily on 0 from 4 again this season. Scotty hoping for something to turn. We've got Gators against Des Moines. Gators who've just been a little bit up and down again, but they have put 2 on the spin together. And Des Moines, who obviously suffered their second consecutive defeat this season after having looked so good for the first 2 games. And then lastly, we've got Steve against the Sloth Man, Roberto, who may well be joining us at some point, but as it stands at the minute, I am companyless, which is absolutely sound. Nothing much to kind of really chew over ahead of the fixtures. Last game week was a kind of a flat game week with 2 fixtures short. And in terms of form, it is the 2 teams that you'd expect. One is 3 from 3, one is 4 from 4, and nobody's really looking like laying a glove on the Drivetrain and the Memphis Reigns. It does look to be that the Vikings and the Bisons have been replaced by the Drivetrain and the Reigns this season. Very, very impressive, the 2 of them, and of course, both teams playing unconventional formations. In terms of player stats, we got Juan Gomez pulling the strings in CDM for the Memphis Reigns, yeah, big tackling DMCs in there. Davids and Dye, Juan Gomez, all the people that you'd kind of expect. Although Ito is probably a new kind of emerger to the party, and so is Alfonso Sully. So without further ado, we'll see where the game wants to take us, and the game does want to take us to the Drivetrain against the Vikings. Drivetrain just making the 1 change tonight, with Paul Scholes dropping back to MC and Robbie Keane coming in for Scholes in that right side FC position with the backwards arrow. Looks to be a decent Robbie Keane, but certainly not the best we've ever seen. Although he didn't really get much kick of the ball or any action in that first season in a bit at all. Savage again is 4 from 4. So this would be a really, really tough ask for the Vikings boys. Over at the Vikings, they do make some changes, and I think I've missed that Mackay arrow off. So just give me 1 second. Check with Jens. Put Arrow and Mackay up to between the strikers, otherwise unchanged tactic file. Yeah, absolutely spot on. So just giving Mackay that impetus to go forward. Mackay, who was very, very good with 16 and 36 last season, and 4 assists, 5 man of the match performances, and some big late goals, if you remember. He was very, very good. Other than that, they do go as is. Oh no, they don't actually. Simkoviak is dropped, and also Ronnie Johnson, I believe, is dropped. Yeah. Ronnie Johnson is dropped to the bench for Petkov. So the form book would say that this is a nailed on away win, but we know in the All Stars that it's not always that clear cut, and the Vikings do look to be having a little bit of the ball as Paul Scholes goes into the book. Henry offside, chance over the bar behind it. Vikings now just trying to assert themselves 39 minutes in, and Robbie Keane had a chance to open his account for the season, but does not do that. Henry puts it wide every time. His name, of course, former Viking. 5 minutes of injury time, and there is Thierry Henry right on cue. Savage is the man with the late goals and finds himself 1-0 on going into the half-time break. And it is that man, Henry, who's been so good for Savage. Now over there, and looks to be outdoing his performances last season as well, by the way. Match stats wise, drivetrain with more of the chances, but Vikings did seem as though from about 25-30 minutes onwards they were trying to assert themselves in the game. Over to the match ratings and the player ratings. Jaap Stam's the only person above a 7, which would explain a lot. And again, that kind of newly formed Ruud van Nistelrooy, look at Tony partnership, just really isn't doing it for Jens at the minute. Over to the drivetrain, couple of bookings to kind of mull over. Alessandro Nesta on a 7, Paul Scholes on a booking. Rivaldo really not getting involved at all, although Savage won't mind that because he's 1-0 up. I'm not expecting Jens live, but Savage, Jens, if you do want to make any changes, do let us know. We'll just give the boys a couple of seconds. And if we don't see anything come through, we will roll in their absence. And this will put the drivetrain 5 from 5 if they were to hang on, which would be pretty impressive. And the Vikings would be already looking as though they're kind of cut adrift of the pack early doors. But plenty of time. We will go to 60. I've not seen anything come through from the chat. Oh, there we go. There we go. Savage is here. Sav, there you are, my man. I'll just give you a couple of insurance seconds. Looking good. Rivaldo, really the only person. And it is an unsurprising as is from Savage, and we haven't seen Jens, so we will crack on until 60. Can the Vikings, who have been low scoring, they have struggled for goals, but there is a goal from a man who does do, and they've turned it round. Oh, very nearly turned it round, and they have turned it round. Wow, what the hell has happened there? Roy Mackay and Fabio Cannavaro out of nowhere have turned this game on its head. Desai on a 9. Savage will be regretting even dropping in for that half time. Over to the drivetrain. Rivaldo and now Neil Scally on 6s, looking to be struggling. Thierry Henry really the only person that is doing Savage proud. As Savage is probably wrestling with, I imagine, some domestic chores and some Friday night food and all that sort of stuff, Sav. So just take your time, mate. We're in no rush. The only person you're holding up is myself, and I don't mind at all, mate. So if you do want to have a little look and decide what you want to do, those chances that Robbie Keane missed in the first half coming back to haunt the drivetrain just a little bit, maybe. But the rest of the league, and certainly the rest of the conference, the rest of Savage's conference, but the rest of the league as well, will be absolutely looking on with interested eyes. Vikings doing the rest of the division, and certainly Memphis Reigns a bit of a favour. Sav, I'm going to give you a couple of more seconds, mate, because I appreciate you're busy. But if I don't see anything in the next 10 seconds, we are going to crack on. Vikings looking okay, but goals from Roy Mackay and Fabio Cannavaro. Roy Mackay again. We talked him up at the start of the game. We will crack on. Oh, there we go. Just in time, Sav. Bring Edmundo on for Rivaldo. Oh, that's not the sub you wanted. Bring Edmundo on for Rivaldo. And move the left and right SC to AMCs. No arrows on them. Cheers, Sav. Appreciate that, mate. Jens, there's your stats for when you watch back, bud. Can the Vikings hang on? and record what would be a really impressive and potentially momentum changing victory. Loads of yellow cards flying about here. I'd be really surprised if we weren't going to end up with a red and make that 5 or 6 that are in the book. A header from Henry and a big save from Cuenca. Now with Vikings on the counter attack, and Giannichetta gets injured. Savage, of course, on Wednesday night was saying how he's been lucky and he hasn't really suffered as a result of injuries, but maybe that's about to change. The game knows. Sean Davis is probably the logical change, and I know Kitchen Dan's a big fan of his of that third column. Scally could, of course, drop back and play an MC or an additional striker, but then I suppose that's what you do with that kind of logjam at the top. And Savage, if you could just, there we go, Scally back to DMC. Sean Davis for Cheddar. And forward arrows on Scholes and Davis. So the drivetrain are going for it. Arrows on the MCs as well. So with the ball, they're absolutely bombing forward. Potentially a Vikings counter-attack could be on the cards. Is the overload going to do it? We will slow it down. Let's see if the Vikings can hold on. Barthez delivers it downfield. The Vikings retain possession. Madavikia can't stop the Dede. Van Nistelrooy. Brilliant challenge from Davis. Tony. Barthez parries it. Scholes clears the ball. Looks to be Vikings that are going to score for anybody else, but here comes Keane. Edmundo with a bicycle kick, and he puts it over the bar. And the Vikings record a massive turnaround victory from 1-0 down, 2 goals inside the first kind of 15, 16 minutes of the second half. And for the first time in a long while, the drivetrain are on the back end of a poor result. That you literally just took the words out of my mouth there, Sab, with that comment that you were due one where you'd be kind of robbed a little bit, but Jens will not care a jot. The Vikings get over the line for only their second win in 5 games, but that could be a turnaround. We're going to go to the short pump slots against the Steam Pigs next. Rob, if you're in the chat, mate, you said as is, but Ayala was suspended and it was 1:09. So I've just put your boy George Costa in there, who has been very good for you. So I hope you won't mind. Otherwise, they go as is with the Alessandro taking all free kicks, all set pieces, and trying to do the magic for Rob. Interestingly, the Steam Pigs have changed it up tonight. Last season's free scoring Steam Pigs have went to a pretty conventional and pretty boring 2-7-1. As Steve looks to try and get something a bit more consistent to click. Totally understand his logic. But yeah, the Steam Pigs were free scoring and absolutely probably the most exciting team in the league last season. And as they scratch around for a bit of fun, as the Sloth Man joins us. And it is the Steam Pigs on the attack. And it is 1-0 from Serginho on debut from DML. Salas, who has been very quiet at the start of the season, does need to pull some performances out for the short pump slots, who were looking very good after 2 games, to be honest. 4 points from 6, first 2, and the better team in the second game. Salas denied a great goal, says the commentary. And at half time, it is 1-0 to the Steam Pigs. Bit of a stalemate there. Short pump slots are not out of this yet. Rob Sloth 3 up top incoming, and it is Rio Ferdinand who has, to be honest, let so many people down in competitive champ. Does continue to do so, as well as Nicky Butt. Should have sold him to me, Rob, when I was after him. I imagine there'll be changes there from the short pumps. And over to Steve when he watches back if he's not live. 7s and 8s, a really, really solid home performance, and he'd be desperate for that second goal just to put the game to bed. And here comes the Sloth Man. It is Kesman for Del Piero, 3 up top. Any arrow on Ferguson, Robert, if you can confirm? I know you usually like to do the little stubby arrow on Baz. I'll just give you a second to decide. And if you do decide to do it, I'll just do it 60, mate, because you've had a decent whack there. As we go to 60 minutes, George Costa into the boot, Khan with a big save. The short pump slots are gonna have to have the ball. Oh, Kesman only scored ones each. 55 minutes. Who's going to get the second goal? We jump to 69 minutes, and but is still on the 5. Rio Ferdinand has turned his 5 to a 6. I just think it feels like Sloths need the ball if they're going to make this 3 up top pair, because Steam Pigs did look dangerous when they came forward. Is Rob going to go one at the back? Steam Pigs again just look really, really solid. 1-7's dropped to 6 from Roy Keane. But other than that, a couple of ratings have went up at half time. Mark van Bommel changing his 7 to an 8. Conditions wise, nothing to worry about there for Steve. Really just Imar, but the position he's playing in doesn't need to do lengths of the pitch. The Sloth boys do Mark Kerr for Nicky Butt and move Kerr up and a forward diagonal on Ferguson. Brilliant, dead straight forward. And we see the match stats. Sloths have had 3 chances since half time, or 3 shots rather, since half time, and the Steam Pigs with just a 3. And we will crack on till full time. Can the Sloths get back into this? Gattuso, Ferdinand off the ball forward, goes out of play, wasted from Ferdinand again. He's had a terrible game. Roberto's won it now. Ferguson, Van Bommel with a big tackle. Oh, and Salas does have a shot there and puts it behind for a corner. Last chance saloon here, Vredia in there, who has been pretty solid for Steve, to be fair. He's not exactly a starter. Obviously, Greavesy had him for a while at easy chance for Albert, and he does put the game to bed. It's 2-0 to Steam Pigs and a clean sheet and a really solid home win. And yeah, Steve, it's the kind of result Steve needed, to be honest. Looks to have shored things up at the back and actually, strikers and have took the chances. Elba's had 1 shot, 1 goal. There we go. And Rob says the side will get good soon. Don't worry, lads. Don't think anyone's worried, to be honest, about the Sloths, Rob, other than your good self, mate. Over to the Sloths. We've got a 5 for the Alessandro, the golden boy, the prodigal son of the short pump, and Nicky Butt on a 5, and Roberto trying his best but not really doing anything, and Ferdinand turning what was a half-time 5 to a 7. We go over to Gators and Des Moines. Dan was loaded in, so I'm not actually sure what he's done here. So yeah, it is just down here. So it is Felipe and Simeone coming for Guardiola and Petrov. Blackwater Gators, who have looked better over the last couple of games. They put 2 wins back to back, 2 big wins really when you think about the start that they had, and they do look to shore it up defensively, conceding 7 in their first 2, and then only the 1 in their next 2. Over at the Des Moines Demons, who started very, very well with 2 wins from 2, and then followed it up with 2 defeats from 2. But Dan does keep faith with the horsey formation. It is just Rochin who comes in for the injured Stefan Honshaw, and it is a full debut tonight. So we do get underway, and the Gators will be looking to make it 3 from 3, and the Des Moines will be looking to avoid making it 3 defeats from 3 as we... Oh, there's more on the message. Oh, Dan, let me just check. Yeah, my bad. I will make... let me make that change now on the diag. Obviously, I don't know why it's only loaded up that top line, Dan. Apologies, mate. Side and Van Anderson with run to the striker. Dan, do you want to make the change now for Anderson here? So diag arrows on. It's just whether you want to bring Ibrahim Saeed on for Anderson with the arrow. Just let me know, bud. Leave him on. Can't waste a sub. Okay, we will go as we get to 12 minutes, and we'll see who is going to get the first goal. 32 minutes played. Des Moines coming in with a little bit more of the ball, but the Gators look the most dangerous. Marcos in there, and it is Felipe who is injured. Doesn't look to be a big one on 54%. Dan was in at the start of the stream. I'm guessing he's just watching in the background. Dan, if you let me know who you want in there. Guardiola's probably the most logical one. Okay, or is it Riquelme? You keeping him there as a DMC, Dan, Veron style, or are you moving him into MC? I'll just give you a couple of seconds just to confirm. Haven't seen anything else done, so we will just go and we'll try and get to half time. 38 minutes plays. Des Moines have struggled for goals a little bit, and it is Emile Penza who. But there is Maxim. Maxim with his first goal for the Des Moines of the season. It's a penalty, and Toldo gets sent off. And just when the Demons looked to be getting back into it, Toldo has had a bit of a mare there, and does give away a penalty. Interestingly, you've said Riquelme and then Walker. Sorry, Riquelme is on Dan. Toldo, ironically, is having a bit of a stinker there after Buffon has been so bad for the Gators. Anderson off. That wasn't surprising at all, to be honest, Dan. For Mondragon. And then, do you want to do anything else, Dan? Horse, rather. Let me know if you want to do anything else in terms of that's it. Okay. And then Dan, any changes on the red? Mute Dan. We'll just drop a message to Kitchen and see if he wants to change anything. Just play on. I'm just pouring a beer, boys. It'll be 2 seconds. That's a good pint. That's a good pint. And we will see who steps up. And it is Mourinho, who's not quite in the side bracket, but he's definitely up there in terms of loving a penalty. And we get to half time and it's 2-1. But of course, Gators now not only have the goal advantage, but they do have the man advantage. Hacker milled on a booking. And some 6s and 7s to deal with there. And Dyer, who has probably produced his best form under Horse, to be fair, does find himself on an 8. Over at the Gators, and Penza with an 8, 2 shots and a goal. It'll be good for Dan to see. And the rest is pretty standard, although Hoffland and Mendieta, who are so integral to this Gator side, do find themselves on an 8. Good evening, Dims. How we doing, my man? Hope you're well. Let me know what tasty beers you're on, boys. If you're on any beers, I'm on a big bottle of Stella, and I've just poured a decent pint out of it. So do let me know what you want to do, Horse. Give you a couple of seconds. Appreciate the red card does disturb things. Folladink off to left wing back. Kutuzov at centre mid. The short arrow. Baumer AMC with arrow. Dan, if you could just confirm that that's what you mean, mate. That'd be grand. So just for anyone tuning in late, we have seen the Steam Pigs win 2-0 against the Sloths. And we've seen the Vikings beat the Drivetrain 2-1 with a kind of double sucker punch, really, from nowhere. 47 minutes played. Demons really trying to create. Segalgo on the volley could have put them 2s each. It is Dyer again making things happen. 62 minutes played. And there is Maxime. When you've got Segalgo, even if you've got 10 men, you are never really out of the game, as the Gators will be kicking themselves that they have chucked away a 2-goal lead. Over to the Gators. Marcus Mourinho, Mendieta, Hoffland, those big lads at the back really doing their bit. But what has been symptomatic of the Gators when they have struggled for form is just not getting the performances from the midfield and the attack. And it wouldn't surprise me. Long arrow to EMC on Raquelme. Dan, Kitchen Dan, if you can just check that that's what you meant. We'll just check the ratings for Horse again. Dims, I can't believe you're not on the BS tonight, mate. It's a fucking Friday. What are you doing? As we wait for Horse just to tinker probably a little bit. Wouldn't surprise us if Ibrahim Saeed comes on. You're not going to take anybody else off, I don't think, Horse. Saeed for Kutuzov. There we go. Long arrow to striker. Let's just confirm that's happened. Yes, it has. Okay, lovely. And we'll go until full time. We could be facing our first golden goal of the night, and Penza tries his luck, but it's a big save from Mondragon, who comes on for the sent-off Toldo, who is going to get this winner, if anybody. 80 minutes played. Feels like Des Moines look a little bit more dangerous within the text, but Gators just having more of the text itself. Yepes with a bit of tactical foul on Seedorf there. 86 minutes played. Mendieta, who has been very, very good. Simeone, offside. Donny moves too soon. Simeone now. Dyer. Can he create something? Marcos gets it. Of course, Kitchen Dan was trying to get rid of Buffon the other day because Marcos has been so good, and Sigalgo with a chance to win it late. Can either of these boys do a savage corner kick? Baumer, Hoffland, big header. Clive now on the counter attack. Brugging, who's been very, very good since coming in, and Impenza, end-to-end stuff here. It's a bit of a tennis match. 90 minutes played. What a game this is. It's got a bit of everything as we get to full time and we go into extra time. Sixes and sevens for the Des Moines Demons, but you know the heavy hitters, the Dyer, the Maxim, and Volodenkov, those players that have been so good for Dan, do find themselves on an above 7 rating. Over at the Gators, you'd be reluctant to change anything if you're there, Dan, wouldn't you? Maybe move Raquelme further up, but he has gone as is. So we will jump back over to the Demons, see what they want to do. James is staying sober in case he needs to do a medical for Al-Alihi. I've seen how pale you are in real life, Dimble. There's no way you're coping with that heat, mate. No fucking chance. You're burning like a bacon razzle, you. Bacon frazzle. The delay, I'm guessing, is some changes from Horsey. So we will just give him a couple more seconds. As he has a little think as to what he can do. Of course, this is the last opportunity that either manager has for changes. And Horsey does like to do a little bit of a shift, passing wise, direct. Marcelinho, Carioca for Mild. Swap with Baumer. Lose Marcelinho arrow, please. So it is, let me just take that off so we know we've only got one arrow. So direct passing. Direct passing. Marcelinho for Mild. Swap with Baumer. Brilliant. There we go. Happy with that. Perfect. And we do go to extra time. Which of these two managers is going to get the golden goal? Remember, the Gators are on 2 wins on the bounce, and the Des Moines are on 2 defeats on the bounce. And it is Maxime with a hat trick. That is the Sigalgo that tortured us for so many years in the Super League in the colours of Northern Burn. And yeah, Maxime scores 3 goals in one game, having only scored 8 last season. And the Des Moines Demons do overcome an admin error from the chairman to win 3-2. Yeah, exactly. Kitchen. Damn, Maxim, what can you do when Maxim turns up? Maxim turns up. Man of the match 10, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Standard. Standard. And yeah, great game that, boys. Unlucky to Dan, and congratulations to other Dan Horse. We go over to the Dandies versus Alcatraz, Alcatraz go as is. The form has dipped a little bit with 2 defeats on the bounce, and they will try and turn it round, but he has kept faith, certainly with Brozek, Collins, and Pizarro. That front three do look deadly. The Dandies beat the Des Moines Demons. Slight champion maybe, but they do score later on, and they are looking okay this season so far. Early doors, they go as is, and we will see how this gets on. Hopkins isn't here and hasn't submitted any instructions, so in the interest of fairness, the Dandies will run totally until 90, unless there's any significant changes like any red cards or injuries. A really, really boring first half, so we'll not dwell on it too much. Dandies offering very little in the attacking half of the pitch. Crespo with their only shot, and the Alcatraz, Davy Collins and Pavel Brozek offering their only shots, but not to hit the target. Hopkins isn't here, so we will just run until 90 minutes. And it is Pizarro with a big, big goal for the Alcatraz. Can the Dandies come back into this, or is it going to be a famous away victory for the Alcatraz boys? As the Dandies do look to exert a little bit of pressure, and there is Shevchenko with his first. Oh, Vita Bayer nearly cost the Alcatraz boys the game there, but there is Zambrotta at the other end. Chiotas was rooted to the spot, and looks to have won it for the Alcatraz. Does win it for the Alcatraz. That's a massive, massive win. Interestingly, Dimble there, a formal response to the Nedved offer, and Nedved goes and gets man of the match. So his stock does rise, and of course, within the context of the Central Conference, that's a big win for the Alcatraz boys, who get to within a point of the Dandies, which is really, really good. Dandies offering very little in terms of the attacking threat, 6s, 7s, and 8s, and they do find themselves on the wrong end of the result tonight. Over to the Pelham Pumas against how many games have we got left? How many games have we got left? So we've seen. Yeah, so that was played, that was played, that was played, that was played. Just Domingo and the Reigns last after this. Over at the Pelham boys, who just made the one change. Hupia comes in for Ugo Ekiog. And over to the Local Fire, who do submit this to try and get themselves into a bit of form. Did you have a fifth sub? Did you have a fifth sub, or did you do? Let me just check Scotty's fifth sub. Apologies, Dims. I don't know if he's done a Super League and just only done 4 subs. Just jumping in at the emails, boys. Give me 2 minutes. That lineup was in the Twitter. So it was Owen. So the subs were Owen, Exteria, Carla Jacques. Missed these boy Carla Jacques, of course I did. And we will go with that. No, you keep us on there, mate. It wasn't Carini. It was Carla Jacques. I'd missed Carla Jacques. Yeah, Andre Duff. I'm just double checking because Scott was in very, very late through no fault of his own. Rustico, Southgate, Welsh, Van der Vaart, Boya, Torres, Vituka, Alan Smith, Owen, Experia, Jacques, Carini, Tudor. There we go. Scotty, all good, mate? That all good for you? Just before I continue. What? Cabello? What are you on about, mate? You haven't got Cabello in your matchday squad. It's Carla Jacques in your subs. Owen, Experia, Jacques, Carini. Owen, Experia, Jacques, Carini, Tudor. Yeah. Just confirm that first 11's all right, mate, please. Van Pure Welsh Duff, Rustico, Smith, Viduka, Torres. Yeah, cheers, mate. I thought I was right. Sorry. Good stuff. Best of luck to Dimble and Scotty as we get this game underway. Lovely. Cheers, Scott, mate. Appreciate it. And Torres with a little nutmeg. As a look of fire do look to be more dangerous. And this would upset the apple cart a little bit, I think, given that a local fire are without a win in 4. And Pelham have looked okay. And wow, a local fire come to life and set on fire 2-0 at half time. But the Pelham boys have those lack of arrows been a bit found out in this game. Fabio Rustic goes into the book, but other than that, Scotty's going to be absolutely buzzing, and I'd be staggered if there's going to be any change. Viduka putting himself about loads. Of course, former East Coast Cosmos man. He might actually still be an East Coast Cosmos man. I think Dimble's been trying to shift him for donkeys. Over to Pelham, just too many sixes in that lineup. And an unsurprising role from Scotty. As Dimble is probably imminently making quite comprehensive changes. Vogel back to the MC. Centralise MC. Arrow on wide men and Ronnie. Classic Cosmos pre 3 DMCs, I think that is. Dim's just confirmed that that's all you want to do there, bud. I appreciate you 2-0 down, so your changes might be a little bit more comprehensive. Just give Dimble a couple of more seconds. And then we roll to 60 if nothing else comes. I haven't seen anything, so I'm going to roll to 60 for Dims. See if that makes a difference. And it is Ronaldinho's arrow. That does make a difference. Saviola in there with a half a chance. 51 minutes played. Torres gets it massively wrong, puts it over. Here come Pelham. And there is Saviola. 2s each from absolutely nowhere. And a red card for Mark Viduka on the click. The click jumped from 59 to 60. And then is 76. And it is Mark Viduka who is off on what should have been the 60 click, but it jumped to 70 yards. And yeah, talk about tactical changes, bringing results and bringing impact. You think this is Pelham's game to lose now? Looks to be a workable formation from Scott, but yeah, 3 up top gives you that just a little bit of overload up top. We'll let Scott decide what he wants to do. Dimble, your changes, my man. Loads of those 6s have jumped up to 7s and 8s, and in fact, Javier Saviola has came in with a 9. If you let me know what you want to do there, but nothing condition-wise. I imagine we may see Danielson for Agahawa, but it's unlikely. Smith for Jacks. Drop to AMC. Centralise AMC and striker. That's it. Scotty, if you just confirm if you want an arrow on Jacks or not, mate, that would be grand. We'll come back to you. Danielson for Agahawa. Kovalchuk for Petit. And go. Kovalchuk for Petit. Danielson for Agahawa. There we go. And no arrow as we go to full time. It is penalty. No, it isn't. It's waved away by the referee. And there is Montella. What a turnaround this is from Pelham. And they'll go top of their Central Conference on 9 points, having been 2-0 down at half time. They have absolutely turned this game around. Torres puts it over. And what a turnaround that is from Dimble. And Scotty's bad luck just keeps rolling on. 0 from 5 now for Scott. And it does look a really, really long way back for him. Match stats performances wise, not amazing, other than Vogel and Saviola, but Dimble will not be asked one bit. They go top of the top of the Central Conference, and they've turned it down. Really, really high grade nimble. That was absolutely bizarre. Pelham did not look like doing anything for a half, and then suddenly came to life. Does bring us to our last game of the night, which I think could be the game of the night, to be honest. It is the St. Domingo's Bisons who have picked up 2 wins after 2 defeats, and they go unchanged against the ever inventive Memphis Reigns, who look to keep pace with Savage. Of course, Savage now technically has 2 games in hand. He's played 5. These guys have played 3, but as of tonight, they'll have played 4, as they do look to go 4 on the spin. Let me just check. Yeah, it was George Atos for Zauri, and then a change to the bench. Neither manager here, so unless there's anything significant, we will keep going. Potatoes in the middle of the Scottish outback somewhere, and Rocks will be probably self-flagellating his bollocks with a cricket ball or something. We go to 43 minutes, and it is Elias who nearly gets a goal, but does not put it in the back of the net. Elias, of course, who was at Memphis Reigns for a period before moving as part of the Totty deal, I believe. Do get a half time, and again, like the Alcatraz and the Dandies game, neither side really offering much to write home about. We'll bring up the match stats and the individual player ratings for the managers when they want to have a little look, but nothing really significant, although Harry Kuehl is struggling a little bit in that left AMC position. Neither manager here, so we will rock till 60, and if there's anything that pops up from either of them, we will make those changes at 60. Robin, who has been so good, had a half a chance there, 57 minutes played. Oh, and that was a chance. Didn't see who it was for, but Domingo Bisons do put it over the bar. 3 bookings for the Memphis Reigns, Montero, Gomez, and Solis. Nothing condition-wise to be worried about. And we'll go over to the Bisons, who have no bookings. Couple of decent numbers and performances, but nothing to worry about in terms of condition as we run to the last half hour of the night for these 2 sides. Two really good sides, 2 really good managers, and will anybody get the winner here? And Dyer with a header, and Nelka being in there, but it feels like Memphis Reigns could sneak this. Bisons have. It is a penalty. It is that man who has been already. Oh, Solis, who's in the top 10 for the player ratings. I was just about to big iron Robin up and say, surely it's another penalty saved. What an absolutely mental last 10 minutes after nothing happening for the best part of 80. What a game that is. Over to the Bisons. Nothing to worry about in terms of conditions. Yeah, Solly's what the fuck says. Wow, look at that, and it's bookings all over the shop. They're going to get a fine, aren't they? But Solly's has been so good for Rocks. So good at DMRC. Classic all-stars indeed, as we'll not make any changes because neither manager is here. Can the Memphis Reigns really? Oh, and it's an own goal. If that doesn't scream all-stars, then I don't know what does. It's won on a golden goal in extra time after a missed pen in the last minute and 2 goals inside a minute. Brilliant. I love it. Ryan Giggs gets a man of the match performance, bizarrely, having done absolutely nothing. What's that? Runs 11. Really? Gets you man of the match. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bookings for the Memphis Reigns, and yeah, a good game to keep until last. Classified 2-1 the Bisons against the Memphis Reigns in extra time. Vikings winning drivetrain 2-1. Alcatraz beating the Dandies 2-1. A look of fire on the back end of that comeback from Pelham. 3 goals inside 45 minutes turned the game on its head. The Des Moines Demons with a Segalco hat-trick beating the Gators, and the Steam Pigs beating the Short Pump Sloths. Leaves the conferences look like this. The drivetrain are flying on 4 wins from 5. Even though the Vikings beat them tonight, they are on 12 points. Over at the Central, Pelham are on. This looks to be emerging as a is probably one of the closest divisions, if not the kind of highest in terms of quality of squads. And over to the Western with the Des Moines Demons after the Tagalco hat-trick being top of the league. The fixtures for Sunday night will be the drive train against the Dandies. Brilliant, fantastic. Will be against a local fire in the Des Moines Demons, Memphis Rains against the Steam Pigs, Pelham against the Gators, Bisons against Alcatraz, and Vikings against Short Pumps. I will do, I think there's a couple of transfers to process, boys, but I will do packs straight away. And we will catch you on Sunday for game week 6. In a bit, boys. Happy Friday.